If you're new, press the bell icon to get the latest notifications.
Assalamu alaikum everyone, welcome back to this Luna Classic update today. So we're still down at 12,007. We're really oversold in the market, and which is actually pretty good to see in terms of buying, of course, not in terms of you holding the coin. Now yesterday I was looking at some sort of a small little bit of a channel on the 1 hour time frame. Went up, came down like this, went up, came down again, but unfortunately you ended up breaking to the downside, went up for the retest, and now you're continuing even much more lower. Now the question is, what are we going to do? What is going to happen next? Okay, that's the main question that everyone is having on the mind. Is it the right time to buy? I mean, taking advantages of the crashes that happens to the downside is always a good idea. But the thing is, we are taking out stop losses. Unfortunately, we're taking stop losses. And if I remove all the drawings at the moment, we had this particularly on the daily. I'm going to show you something, which is actually a little bit of a problem for me as well. That if you look at this one certain level, you have lost that level. Unfortunately, lost the level. Now if you look at it that way, you have one support right there and a little bit of this stop loss here that people had, and that stop loss is being taken away, and you shouldn't have been coming down to this level. This is where people have stop losses because they think if it comes down there, you're going to continue lower. So that's the first thing. The second thing is you made a spinning top that got invalidated and you went to the downside and you failed to hold the support level. That's also a very bad sign. The only good sign though is that on the daily you have an oversold level, which is on the RSI, of course, which is actually like this, and this one from there to there. You can see that this is for the first time you went below that line support of the RSI. That's the only good thing, because this actually shows it could be a very good time to start to buy Luna Classic for a day trade potentially, because if you look at it that way, you come to oversold. But it doesn't mean you cannot continue lower. You can still continue lower and make new highs. That's the issue, and that's why I cannot even try to buy it. Because the thing is that the RSI is not the only factor you have to take when trading. You have to also look at other different factors. One of them being that you are having this one support, nearly support right there, another support right here, and another support right there, and you've made a clear close to the downside, made a bearish closing. You've taken out this level of price that you shouldn't be taking out. The only thing you could be doing now is maybe make a small pump to 13,000 by next week and try to backtest 13,000 and then get rejected and go to the downside. We're approaching the weekly end as well, so if I go into the weekly time frame here, this is where you have, and we've talked about this one before. I'm going to show you. Do you remember the time when I talked about these three black rows, and I clearly told you that the next week is going to be green, right? But then again, it's going to be down, and we perfectly did the same thing. Whatever happened here, whatever this was, is exactly what this really is, okay? You started with that three red candles on the weekly, 1 day 14 hours to close the candlestick, and that's where you're going to have a little bit of that green pump to the upside, just a little bit, and that could potentially be all the way back up to 12,000, 13,000 to backtest this line and continue lower, because these three red candles mean that it's a continuation to continue even lower. Now the best thing is that if you do end up pumping up and go to 17,000, invalidating everything, and you go back above like this to 18,000, that would be amazing. That would be really good. That means that you went for the retest, because remember guys, this is just retest. You can pass the test or you can just fail the test. Now that one I cannot say anything. There are chances of passing the test because of the RSI being oversold at the moment. Could be a fake out as well. And that's pretty much it for this update. I'm going to see you in the next one. Allah Hafiz.